If at first you don't succeed, try again, right? That must be the thinking in Los Angeles, as both USC and Alabama officially confirmed on Wednesday afternoon that the two college football powerhouses would open the 2020 season at AT&T. "We are thrilled to have the opportunity to open another season at the AdvoCare Classic in 2020, Crimson Tide head coach Nick Saban said in a statement. "Our team and our fans have always enjoyed playing in North Texas and at this event has always been first class with the intensity of a bowl game. We are also pleased to have the chance to once again face USC, and we look forward to a great game." The pair met in the same game to open the 2016 season in an affair best known for who didn't start at quarterback for both teams in what wound up as a 52-6 shellacking of the Trojans by the Tide. Notably, Max Brown started for USC at quarterback while Sam Darnold watched on as the backup, and Blake Barnett took the first snaps for Alabama before eventually giving way to Jalen Hurts. Both Barnett and Brown wound up transferring from the schools while Hurts and Darnold guided the teams to New Year's Six bowl games. This will be the 9th game between the two schools, should they not meet in a bowl the next 2 seasons, which was perhaps most famously played back in the 1970s when Bear Bryant and John McKay famously ruled the sidelines for both sides. Alabama leads USC 6-2 in the wins department, with the most recent coming in that opener 2 years ago. The move will be the centerpiece of the Tide's non-conference slate in 2020, with Georgia State and Kent State also on the docket in Tuscaloosa. USC now has their 2020 non-conference schedule done, with home games against New Mexico and their yearly contest with Notre Dame rounding things out. LSU and Miami are slated to play in the AdvoCare Classic game later this year on Sept. 1st to open the season, while Auburn and Oregon will meet in the game to start off the 2019 campaign. Seth Littrell has done a great job turning around the program at North Texas, but fans getting a look at the 2018 edition of his team will notice something right away that's different when they take the field for the home opener: new turf. The Denton Record-Chronicle reports that UNT is ponying up $625,245 for the latest field turf cool play turf at AT&T Stadium. "We are excited about the turf," Littrell said recently, according to the paper. "It was much needed. That turf has been used a lot and has gotten worn down. The new field will improve safety and will be a great resource for our kids." The old turf had a good run at the stadium after being installed back in 2011, but obviously the summer heat and 300-pound bodies playing football will cause a little wear and tear. The Record-Chronicle says that North Texas and Mean Green will be the end zone's text, while the midfield school logo will include a dark green outline of the state of Texas. Completion of the project is expected to be done well in time for the first game against SMU in September. The school has released some shots of AT&T Stadium without the old turf, and it certainly looks kind of wild to see a stadium sans a playing field. Conference realignment ended a bunch of big rivalries, from the major Texas A, former Big 8 and Big 12 rivals Kansas State and Nebraska were somewhere on the middle of that scale after playing each other in football for decades. While nobody is clamoring for the two to get together quite like they're the Longhorns and Aggies, there's plenty who would still love to see them schedule a non-conference series given how close Lincoln and the Little Apple are to each other, 135 miles across the border. Wildcats athletic director Gene Taylor has been in the job just over a year, and it seems like he's very aware of the scheduling situation between the two schools and is open to getting something done eventually. He was asked about adding the Cornhuskers to the slate in AQ. "We are pretty well scheduled out in football with our one Power 5 opponent, but we do play them in baseball and have had conversations in men's basketball. If the opportunity were to arise, they are someone we would certainly entertain if it made sense for us." KSU is fully booked on the scheduling front through 2022 but have been open to adding home and homes with former Big 12 opponents, with Missouri on tap for 2022-23 and Colorado on 2027-28. They've got a Power 5 opponent on the docket until 2031, so it seems like the team wouldn't be able to get something done with Nebraska until after then. That is, to say the least, a long ways away. Who knows, maybe they'll be able to meet in a bowl game at some point over the next few years. The Cornhuskers and Wildcats last met in 2010 in a series that is heavily weighted to Big Red. At least Taylor is leaving the door open and leaving a chance of the two programs hooking back up on the gridiron. We discussed the release of academic progress rate (APR) data from the NCAA on Thursday and some of the bonuses that college football coaches received for their team's performance in the classroom. Well, those coaches should have had Arizona State Athletic Director Ray Anderson as their agent, because his APR-related bonus puts all others to shame. Per the Arizona Republic, Anderson, a former agent, it should be noted, is getting a whopping $348,310 in bonus money as the result of the Sun Devils' latest APR score. Here's how the paper breaks it down. Under terms of a new contract signed last fall that pays $800,000 in base salary, Anderson will receive $348,310 in academic bonuses. That breaks down to $136,000 for football's 975 out of 1,000 APR score, $120,000 for ASU's overall APR score, and $92,310 for 6 teams receiving public recognition awards for an APR in the top 10% nationally. $350,000. For comparison's sake, USA Today notes that Florida State AD Stan Wilcox picked up $17,000 in APR bonuses. That bonus for Anderson was nearly as much as New Mexico State's Doug Martin was paid in total salary. No matter what you think about the whole paying of college athletes or the NCAA system at large, it seems pretty clear by some of the figures in coaches' and athletic directors' salaries that there is plenty of money to go around. LSU's quarterback race heated up after spring practice thanks to the transfer of former Ohio State signal caller Joe Burrow, but the incumbent at the position does not appear to be worried about him coming in and taking the starting job. Well, at least that quarterback's dad isn't worried. Owen Brennan, father of sophomore QB Miles Brennan, spoke to the Sun-Herald about the situation in Baton Rouge, and it certainly doesn't seem like the latter is planning on transferring himself and seems quite confident in becoming the starter for the opener against Miami. Here's what I think. I think Joe Burrow has 3 years and 15 pounds on Miles. That's it, the elder Brennan said. I don't think he has a huge upper hand. I think Miles is in a very, very good position to compete for the starting job. I really do. That's just my opinion. If I thought the opposite, if they were bringing in Tom Brady or something, I'd say, hey, Miles, look, but I don't see him in that position. The younger Brennan saw action in 6 games last season and is the only player on the roster to have thrown a pass for the Tigers, throwing 1 touchdown against a pair of interceptions. Redshirt freshman Lowell Narcisse also made some noise in the spring to where coaches thought the race was fairly even and would push into fall camp. That's certainly the case now, with Burrow joining the team this summer. It's not surprising to hear a dad is confident in his son's abilities and thinks he'll become the starter, but the real question on everybody's mind over the next few months is what Ed Orgeron thinks about the race in what is becoming a very big season for him at LSU.